I think you would agree that developing and adhering to a daily routine is very tough. Is that correct? It turns out that creating an efficient habit structure may significantly improve your chances of sticking to your daily routine. I used to hate routine when I was younger. I hated regulations and had no clue why they were in existence or why I was being compelled to follow them. In retrospect, they were certainly enforced in part, owing to the enforcer's authoritarian ambitions. However, a little part of me saw that routine may exist because it instills responsibility in you. It was not, however, for me. I hated routine so much that I managed to keep it hidden. Then I grew up. Being a grown-up is tough. It's tough because unless you're in prison, you don't have much of a choice. You no longer have a routine imposed on you. Otherwise, you have complete freedom to do anything you choose. People will encourage you to break out of your routine and do something new and difficult. This may seem to be a good thing, but it isn't always the case. In this video, I'll teach you how to change 7 everyday habits that will tailor your life to fit you perfectly. 1. Create a schedule. If you want to get things done, you'll need a process. Developing a technique that works for you would be beneficial to everyone. If you're a leader, instill that sense of process in your team members. It may be the difference between simply talking about things and really executing them if you have a good routine. 2. Have a cheat day for yourself. What I'm trying to say is that you shouldn't stick to your regular routine. It may seem that I am contradicting myself here, but that is not the case. Once you've found a technique that works for you, set aside a day throughout the week to break from your routine. Set aside one day to experiment with new ideas or to do things in a different way. Never rule out the possibility. It's conceivable that you'll come up with a fresh way of doing things. You may even find something to work on that you hadn't considered previously. 3. Create a pre-routine. Before you start your routine, do something that isn't too difficult for you. Reading the latest articles or any tech news that I may have missed in the previous day is something I do first thing in the morning. It takes very little effort to get started, but now that I've mentally integrated it into my routine, I'm prepared for whatever comes next. 4. Don't point fingers at others. Procrastination is our worst foe. I've squandered a lot of time by procrastinating when I should have been working, then blaming my failure on someone else. A routine allows you to be aware of what you haven't completed and, as a consequence, provides you full control over your work. I've found that establishing a set of expectations for myself makes it easier for me to assess my performance. No one else will be able to help you with it. Assume ownership of your work. 5. Calendars and to-do lists. Make a to-do list for one-time activities, and utilize Google Calendars to schedule recurring tasks. The pop-ups and notifications that calendars provide guarantee that you don't neglect to accomplish chores. You're more likely to follow through when you're reminded or told to do something. 6. Get rid of the roadblocks. It's difficult to stick to a new habit, and you'll often face temptations that may lead you astray. You may accomplish this by going through your regular routine, and identifying the moments when things start to go awry. When you pay more attention to the difficult portions of a routine, it becomes easier to stick to it as a whole. 7. Your mental state. Take a look at what you've done in the past, if you think you're terrible at sticking to routines. I was a master at sticking to my morning routine in college, since it had to fit around my academic schedule. Once I remembered that little fact, I realized that regularity was a possibility for me. All I had to do now was figure out how to make it work again. Right now, you are very likely have undetected behaviors in your life. If you get home from work every day, make dinner, and watch Netflix, it's become a habit. It may not be the outcome you had planned for, but it demonstrates your ability to stick to a plan. Believe in your capacity to stick to a schedule in your life. You've done it before and are confident in your ability to do it again. After you've overcome this mental hurdle, sticking to a routine becomes a lot easier. Have faith in your ability to keep to routines in your life. You've done it before, and you're certain that you can do it again. Sticking to a schedule becomes a lot simpler after you get over this mental barrier. Being able to continuously devote all of your work and attention on your goals depends on having a routine. As a result, you should make it a point to establish a solid daily routine. It will get more difficult to break the habit as time passes.